Good morning. Big Rich here, Big Rich on the mic, coming at you live on YouTube. Big Rich live on the mic radio show. Next installment on this hump day. Happy hump day to everybody. Hope everything is good. Hope you're maintaining and doing what we got to do to put our footprint on this earth, put our footprint in this world, and do all that we can. Do all that we can. I appreciate the new listeners, the old listeners, the good, the bad, the ugly. So we're going to get into our topic today. It's a somber week. Started out as a horrible weekend here in Orlando. Everybody should have known, unless you live under a rock, of the terrorists and homophobic massacre here in Orlando. Saturday night. 50 people dead, 54 injured. Many families destroyed. Misery beyond belief. But I'm not going to too much talk about that. Everybody done beat that to death. And all sorts of other radio shows and media outlets. We're going to actually talk about the root of it. What causes stuff like that? The Sandy Hooks, this massacre, the bombings overseas and these mass shootings. We're going to talk about hatred. We're going to talk about the roots of it, to understand it, to identify it, within not only yourself, but other people, and do something about it. Hatred is such a deep-rooted word. It's an evil word to hate somebody, to say that you hate somebody, a person, another human being. That's a deep-rooted emotion. And a lot of times we use and we throw around that word for anything. I said, I'm no bit better than anybody else. I'm no better than you or anything like that. But what I say is I don't use that word. Not when it comes to people. Now, I might say I hate this job. I hate this trip. I hate this, when this happens. I hate when traffic is backed up. That's one thing. But I'm talking about when you say when you hate a person. And then when you dig deeper and said it's not only you hate a person, you hate an entire race or culture or class. Now you go into that world of craziness and ungodliness. I hate these people because they're gay. I hate these people because of the color of their skin. I hate these people because of their religion. Why do we do that? We are the most intelligent beings on this earth. We've done amazing things. All cultures, amazing things. How do a few of us succumb to the deepest and darkest animalistic trait of being a human being? Hatred, greed, jealousy, envy. It'll put you down the wrong road. It'll eat you up inside, your soul, your family, those who love and admire you. It takes a lot of energy to hate somebody. It takes more energy than I'm willing to give. It should take more energy than you're willing to give. So we're going to talk about hatred. We're going to talk about racism. We're going to talk about sexism, classism, because it all revolves around hate. I want somebody that's listening to the sound of my voice, write it down in the comments below. Or tweet it to me. My Twitter handle is @BRLiveOnTheMic. Instagram, Big Rich Live on the Mic _ the letters. Or go to our Facebook page at Big Rich Live on the Mic. And tell me, answer this question. What good has ever come out of hating someone? What good? Even if you say, well, I'm crazy enough I hate these people, so I go out and I bomb somebody. Or I strap something to my back and I go and I blow myself up and blow up a whole bunch of individuals that I don't know that couldn't pick me out of a lineup. What good has come out of that? You don't feel good. Even if you get away with it, you don't feel good. It might be that quick euphoria, but then you need more. It's like a drug. So what good comes out of hatred? I don't pretend to know everything. So let me know. Maybe, maybe I'm wrong. There's something that I'm not getting. But in my doctrine, nothing good comes out of wrong. Nothing good comes out of hatred. We need to get away from that. But before you can get away from that, you have to analyze it. Why do I hate? Why do I hate this people over here? Why do I hate homosexuality? Why? It's not bothering me. Same-sex marriage, that has nothing to do with me. If you want to marry another man, if you're a man want to marry another man, you a woman want to marry another woman. If you're a human, you want to marry a goat, who cares? It don't have anything to do with my personal life. And if you about right and you think about it, it has nothing to do with your personal life either. Now, when we talking about the massacre, I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to give him this type of rub, on my show, my little ass show. I'm just not going to do that. But his dad was saying that he got pissed off that he saw two men kissing in Miami some time ago. And it angered him. Well, let me tell you something. I've never seen two men kissing live, in my face. I've seen it in movies and stuff like that. I'm not comfortable with that. But then I tell people in my inner circle, I'm not comfortable if I walk down the street, especially with my kids, and there's a man and woman tonguing each other down. Hands all between the legs and tongue kissing and all that stuff. Look, hey, get a room. Now again, it's none of my business. I keep it moving. And if I have my kids with me, I tell them, look, this is not how you live. But you get pissed off because somebody doing something, they're showing affection. Now me, I'm a very tender person. Anybody that knows me, I'm a touchy-feely person. I love to kiss. I love to hold hands. I love that. But I've never been somebody that sit around there and wanting a tongue kiss or all that type in the street. That's just not me. Get a room. So it don't make a difference. Two men, two women, man and woman. I don't want to see it at all. But I'm not going to trip if I see two men or two women walking around shaking hands or pet kissing and stuff or hugging. Who cares? It's none of my business. You don't like what you see? Close, turn the other way. Close your eyes. Keep it moving. How about this? Mind your business. People always want to live other people's lives. And their lives messed up. And their yard ain't clean. But you have hatred. You fall into hatred. Now people always, want to say, why can't you get rid of, why can't you get over hatred? Why, when I bring up racism, why we have to bring up racism? Well, I bring up racism because it is alive and well. And when people ask me, on Twitter, email, anything like that, do I think that racism will ever not exist? I tell them no. Why? Because it is right here. Look at this picture. Look at that picture. That's why racism will never go anywhere. Because people who believe in that nonsense have kids and then indoctrinate them, brainwash them, teach them the same nonsense to perpetuate generation after generation after generation after generation. Look at that picture. Look at his face. Let's just take off the Klan outfit. What time? How old do you think he is? 8, 9 maybe? Look at his face. Take the Klan outfit out. Looks like a normal boy. Smiling. Don't know no better. He is being destroyed by his parents and the people who raising him. Being destroyed. His childhood, his innocence is gone. Why? Because people want to perpetuate hatred, racism, sexism, classism. It's ridiculous. You ask yourself, what has somebody done to you? Not what you heard, not what somebody told you or what you learned in school or your camps. What has somebody done to you? What has a homosexual done to you personally? What has a black, brown, or Native American or immigrant, what have they done to you personally that would make you hate an entire race or class? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You get people, and I try to conversate with anybody. As long as you ain't ignorant and disrespectful, I'll listen. Because like I said before, I don't know everything. I'll listen. But when you say, well, Bill O'Reilly told me this, or Sean Hannity told me that, and said this and said that, and that's all, you got a problem. People need to stop listening. Excuse me, I'm not listening. People need to stop believing everything you hear. I know some of you is like, well, dang, Rich, you expect us to believe what you saying right now. What I expect you to do is take it in and research it. That's what I expect you to do. I don't expect you to believe everything that I say that comes out of my mouth because I say it. Who the hell am I? I don't know anything. I don't know everything. I don't know everything. So you need to take it, digest it, and research it. And call bull crap if I say something wrong. But we need to stop listening to, and the thing is, racism, sexism, classism have been around since almost the beginning of time. And all of that roots in that hatred, all of that permeates through everything. Hatred enables racism. Hatred enables sexism, classism, homophobia. All of that. It all is a tree. It is all branches of the hatred tree. People telling you, well, you don't have no money, you don't have no job because these people took it from you because they getting free stuff. That's a lie. That is a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. The reason people are struggling in this country is not because of one race or sexual orientation or culture. It is because of the top 1%. The top 1% controls the majority of the money and power. The top 1% got more money than the bottom, two-thirds put together. You have people so rich in this country that if they stop working today, if they stop getting a quota, stop getting 1 red cent right now, them, their kids, and their grandkids would never have to work a day in their lives, ever. Can you imagine that? But then you got people who robbing Peter to pay Paul. Hell, you got people robbing Peter and Paul at the same time, living hand to mouth. And they're being told, oh, well, you're not making the money because this particular group is getting handouts. Or you're not making money because this particular group is coming here illegally to take your jobs. That's a lie. That's not true. It's not true. You have to analyze everything that you hear. And it's not hard. It's really not hard to find out if somebody's telling the truth or not. I am a big believer of freedom of speech. I really am. A big believer. Shoot, I got a radio show. Big believer. But I also realize and agree with some people when they say that there should be consequences and repercussions for the things that you say. You shouldn't be able to get on national TV and bold-faced lie. You shouldn't be able to be an elected official or run for the highest office in this land and lie every other word. You shouldn't be able to stir up hate, fear, desperation, and then stand back and then, hey, well, that's not what I meant. Hide behind freedom of speech when something jump off. There's an issue that we have to deal with when we talk about hatred. And I would think that we all have things that we wish we didn't do or say or feel. I think I might have mentioned earlier, I don't believe in the word hatred. I just don't. There's a lot of people I can't stand. And some of you people listening know I'm talking about you. But I can't sit up here and say that I hate a person. I don't have the energy to do that. Now, before we go further, I'm going to play an audio clip from Dr. William J. Barber from the North Carolina NAACP. And he covers this, and his words are powerful. So listen up, and then we'll talk about it on the other end of it.
Down through the years, many who have experienced hate, caused suffering, still refused to respond with faith. They had faith that love was still greater, and we must have that faith today. Hate always reacts when love is taken hold, when it begins to conquer the fearful heart. Hate wants us to respond and react with hate. America, hate wants an unending circle of hate. But we cannot fall into hate's trap. We must not respond to hate with hate's ways, not in our politics, not in our actions, not in our...
So what you think? Didn't he hit every point that needed to be hit? We have a responsibility to determine our own fates, to add positive reinforcement to what we teach, what we say, what we do for all people. All people. All religions. All sexual orientations and all races. We're all human beings. But there's also things that have been told and taught throughout the years that should be criminal. Teaching that homosexuality is a mental disease. There's been gays and lesbians around since practically the beginning of time. They just hid, didn't say anything. It wasn't like in the old days you can say that if you was a man you love a man, or if you was a woman you love a woman. They just kept it bottled up, lived a lie. If you think that here in the 2000s everybody just woke up and was like, well, you know what, I'm gonna be gay and lesbian today, you crazy. It's always been here. It's always been this way. And people are tired. You get to the point where you have social media has opened up a whole lot of avenues for a lot of people. And people are tired of living a lie. They're tired. I have my own personal opinions about homosexuality. I don't approve of the lifestyle, but hey, there's a lot of other things I don't approve of. But that's you. And I've always been the type of person that if it's wrong and you believe in God, Judgment Day and stuff like that, if it's wrong, then come Judgment Day, you got the answer for it. Nowhere in the Bible that I've seen, and I'm not a Bible scholar, but nowhere in the Bible that I've seen that says that before you get in them pearly gates, you got the answer for the sins for other folks. You know, I was an altar boy for 4 years, long time ago. But I don't ever remember that in any Bible or Quran or Hadith that said that you got the answer for the sins of somebody else. If it's wrong, they're gonna have the answer for it. What you need to do is mind your business. Do what you feel that you need to do for God that don't hurt other people. It don't hurt other people. You know, you look at racism. You got the Klan. You got the neo-Nazis. It's just amazing. It's amazing when you sit back and you think about it. What have they done to you? What have we, as African Americans, done to you personally? What? I'm talking about the whole race. I'm not talking about one person. Let's just say, hey, I got robbed. Hey, my last show, I got robbed. I got robbed by my own people. But I'm not going to sit around there and say that all black people that way. You know, you deal with that particular individual that did you wrong. But you don't paint everybody with a broad brush. You just don't. There's no reason to. You know, I don't have a problem with people expressing their views. I really don't. As long as they're not hurting anybody, I have no problem with it. I got a Twitter question a couple of days ago. White supremacist, you know, and he was saying that he doesn't see anything wrong, or why does people see things wrong when white people walk around saying, you know, they're for their race, you know, white power, this type of third and all that. I sent it back and said, look, I don't care. Love yourself if you will. Love your white skin. I love being black. Love being Asian. Love being multicultural. Love being a homosexual. Whatever. That's fine. I got no problem with that. The problem I have, and I can't speak for everybody else, the problem I have is when you try to destroy other people based on those views. You try to harm me and my family, me and my people, me and my associates based on that particular ideology. That's where I have the problem. Most people don't really give a damn. If you want to go in the woods and burn a cross, or you want to have Klan rallies or neo-Nazi rallies on your private property, who cares? I don't. But when you want to leave that Klan rally and find some black folks to lynch, or you leave that church and go to a synagogue or go to a temple and shoot up the place or protest with show up with guns, I got a problem with that. That's where I got a problem with. That's where we have a problem. And it goes to the hatred. It goes to the hatred because you're sitting down stewing in your own hate and blaming it on this particular culture or this particular race or this particular sexual orientation because somebody told you to. Instead of being, well, you know, hey, we did grow up in a steel town, and just throwing out, you know, GM, Ford, whatever. They moved and outsourced a whole lot of their jobs, and they closed this factory. Is that because of homosexuals? Is that because of black people or brown people or native people? Really? No, that's because the CEOs and those big companies were looking at their bottom line and your livelihood be damned. We shouldn't hate anybody. But when you hate just because somebody told you to, or you don't want to look inward with yourself and see where you screwed up, that's a problem. That's a problem. You know, we had a tweet last week. Some guy said that if black and brown people don't like America, we need to go back to Africa. Well, you know, this guy had a Ireland flag as his avatar, and you know, I don't get back and forth. I find it very comical. But did you know that 98% of the African Americans that are in the United States, ancestors, was here before 94% of everybody else in this country? You know what that means? That means everybody else is immigrants. So when you fall out all of that, when you lay it all out and look at the statistics, and again, Google it. Don't take my word for it. Google it. But when you talk about all of that, it is amazing how people don't want Mexican and Latin American immigrants to come to this country now. Your ancestors came to this country as immigrants 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago. So it was good for you, but it's not good for them. And let me tell you something. In this capitalist system, this is the land of opportunity. If you work hard, you're going to get something. You might not get everything you deserve, but you're going to get something. So these people are coming from poor, downtrodden, terroristic, drug-infested countries that try to come and make a couple of coins. What little coins they make here, they send it back to Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia. And it's like 10 times as much as what they're making down there. Now, what kind of country are we? Let's say Europeans and people of a lot of persuasion could come over here years and years and years and years ago for free land to pursue the American dream, but they can't. You know, I mean, you just sit back and think about it. Really? That's where the hatred goes in. But I don't blame individuals per se. I blame the media. I blame textbooks, the school system, the education system. And to a lesser degree, I blame the government. Because when you're taught that this particular people or this particular religion or this particular culture, sexual orientation is bad, and you did everything, made everything, done everything, you are the best thing since God, after a while you start believing that. You start believing that. There is no reason for people to be living on the streets in the richest country in the world. No way. No reason. No reason. But you have people who make so much money that is passed down from generation to generation that won't let you get a kernel off their plate. Not one thing will they allow you to take off their plate. In lieu of, damn, I got more money than I can spend. My son, daughter, they kids can spend. Let me back up just a little bit so I can bring everybody else up. So at least people can have a living wage. The minimum wage across this country should be $15. And then when you have people to talk about, oh, well, that'll drag the economy down. No, it's not. People still got to buy things. If Walmart, Target, Sears, those are conglomerates. Those are fixtures in the community. Walmart, not picking on them, they raised their minimum wage to $15. You think people gonna stop going to Walmart? They're gonna continue to go to Walmart at the same rate, even more. Why? Because you got more money to spend. You got more money to spend. And they're going to get the money, the owners, the CEOs, they're going to get the money back in the back end. They'll wind up losing nickels, maybe a dime off the top of their gross. But in the long run, they're going to make that up. Why? Because if you pay somebody if you was paying somebody $7.90, I think that's the minimum wage down here in Florida. If you're paying somebody $7.90 and you raise it up to $15, you have doubled their pay. Not only are they going to want to work more hours because now it's more money, they're going to be more enthusiastic to get there, to stay there, to do the job. And then they're going to turn around and spend most of that money right in your shop. That's what they're going to do. So you think about it, you unpack it all. And you say, we got to get rid of this. We have to understand and we have to deal with hatred. We got to get rid. When I say this, I'm talking about all these isms. Racism, classism, sexism, homophobia. We got to get rid of those. We got to bypass those and analyze ourselves and be like, okay, why do I hate this particular person? Why do I hate this particular culture? I've said before, I don't agree with the homosexual lifestyle, but so be it. That's them. Enjoy. Marry. I don't care. And you shouldn't either. You know, we're not really going to get into religion because I don't want to go deep and access a whole other show. But when you talk about religion, it's all the same God, Jehovah, Allah. It's the same being. If that's what you choose to believe in. I have no independent evidence that there is a God. But I'm not stupid enough to not realize somebody had to make all this. And every time I choose to believe, it makes me feel better. Now that could be a psychological thing, but I choose to believe. So because I choose to believe, I say, there's no God. I don't know what God you following. But my God don't tell people to go and massacre other people or hold people down, enslave them, degrade them, steal from them for him. You know, I don't see it. I don't see it. So you have to sit back and you have to think, you know, what's really going on. So when we talk about this shooting, this massacre, you know, I believe that there's going to be a whole lot more stuff come out about the shooter and his sexual orientation. You know, you don't know if it's rumor or not, but now it comes out that he's frequented that place, sat down in the corner, drank liquor and all that type of stuff for up to 3 years. He knew some cats in there. So I've heard, and I'm sorry I can't give the person credit, but I remember somebody saying, you know, anybody who's that ardent against something, they might be doing it themselves. You know, the worst homophobes probably have homosexual tendencies or thoughts themselves. You know, anytime, look at all the politicians that, you know, down with drugs, down with corruption, down with prostitution, and then they get busted for drugs, for hookers, for corruption. Homophobias. down with the gays, all of that type of stuff. You find out that they got gay tendencies, homosexual tendencies. So one got to wonder, what's really going on? What's happening? Studies prove that you have people who hate by race because of race, and they're not doing nothing to add to the overall betterment of the country. They're not. They sitting around there mad. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, I can't stand black people. Okay. Has a bunch of y'all got together, build crops, do this, do that, start your own political base? Your own economic base? No. You just want to sit around in the compound or on some type of abandoned building and be mad and just stew, but not doing anything productive in your life. And you might think productive is to go and kill a bunch of people or strap a bomb. But that's not doing anything. That's not helping anything. It truly is not. All it's doing is perpetuating fear and loathing, which falls back to hatred. I was always taught that the female of the species is the tender one, the nurturing one, and by whole that is. But some, as you see with these pictures, some of the hatred and venom coming from women is amazing to me. Amazing. Just amazing. But is that indoctrination. It is, I believe, what this person told me because they're in a quote unquote position of authority, so they must be telling the truth. You have people today that feel that news anchors, the news channels cannot lie to you, that politicians can't lie to you. That's a lie. They all lie. All of them. Do they lie about everything? No, they sure don't. About 80-85% of it's true. The other 20 to 15, I'm not even saying there's a lie per se. It's an omission. That's where a lot of people get away from that. They just omit certain things. Well, I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you that. We all have a purpose in this life. And I believe it's built on and based on love and understanding. I believe we're all here to contribute to the betterment of the whole. I truly do. But I believe that based on the word hatred stems greed, jealousy, envy, and all the isms. I believe that's the downfall. I believe that's where we are. That's why we are where we are now. Because of a few people in key positions that keep stuff going. It's just amazing. You have just subtle racism and classisms. We went over the classisms about the minimum wage and the fact that the top 1% don't want to give a quarter. And see, let me tell you something. I can understand if you built like let's just say you worked a job for like 10, 20 years and you stacked your paper and you started your own business and it was something, I don't know, paper clips. Let's just throw that out. And you made it into a multi-billion dollar corporation. It'd be sort of hard for you to then turn around and give away your money because you've earned it. You know what I'm saying? But what most of the top 1%, they haven't earned nothing. Most of that is generational wealth. That means you got it from your father, who got it from your grandfather, who got it from your great-grandfather and great-great-grandfather, and so on and so forth. So truly, what have you earned that you can't give a small... And nobody's saying charity. Nobody's saying, hey, I should give my... No. What they saying is raise everybody else's level up. So then you wind up still getting more money in the the end game. At the end of the day, you will still get more money. You'll have your money. But then you have a lot more people happy and able to spend money and do things for not only themselves, their family, their community, but then they ain't got nobody to be mad at no more. Now again, this is a bell curve theory. You got 10%, ain't mad at nobody. Love everybody. You got 80%, it all depends on what day it is. Monday, I might not could stand you. And Tuesday, I might love you. And then you got your 10% that will hate everybody regardless. You can't please them. But I can sure take 10% of the world being pissed off. A lot better than 50%. And I'm just throwing that number. I don't know if it's 50%. But you look at all these mass shootings we've had. Hatred. And mental disease. We didn't even get into that. We didn't even get into that. Gun control, all of that type of stuff. People, and it's just amazing. When I say that people believe anything that people that are in so-called positions of power or authority say, is this with gun control? Every time somebody try to come up with sensible gun control, the NRA wants to jump up and say, hey, they want to take your guns away. No, they don't. I don't usually do guns. I got guns in my house, some that type of stuff there, for protection. I don't like guns. But if you want to have 150 guns in your collection, I don't care. As long as you're not going out robbing people and committing mass murder, I don't care. If you got some sense, I don't care what you got. So you want to spend your money? You know me, I like electronic gear. You might like weapons. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But we should be able to have something in place that if you a nut, if you have radical thoughts, if you a jihadist, a white supremacist, a homophobic, you can't get guns. Now people say, hey, well, people can get guns because there's a whole culture of illegal guns. Well, that's when you do what you need to do. You do what you need to do. You get with these gun manufacturers and you let them know it's your responsibility. It is your responsibility. This is so funny. If I buy a gun, a car, or something like that, and it blows up, it causes me damage, that particular company is liable for my injuries. But if I don't do what needs to be done to put the protections in place, and my guns are being bootlegged and sold all over the world and killing innocent people, then I'm not responsible. That's a tangled web we weave. You need to digest that. Think about it. But again, just think about that word hatred. Just say it to yourself. You ain't even got to say it out loud. Just say it to yourself and see how venomous that even sounds coming off of your tongue. Hatred, racism, sexism, classism, homophobia, religious zealots. We don't even want to get into the hatred that is fueled by some of these reverend pastors. To me, I just feel that should be criminal, close to evil. When you get up in front of your flock and profess that killing 49 innocent people because it was gay is a good thing, or bombing a church full of black people was a good thing. Why? Why would you even think that? Why would you even say that? Religion is supposed to be about love and understanding. God teaches love and understanding. So where do you get the I'm going to go out and this is a good thing, I'm going to go out? Because see, what happens is when somebody says that in the pulpit, Somebody sitting in the pews is going to take that and run with that and be like, you know what? Well, my pastor said it. He's got a straight 911 connection to God. He said it was cool. So now I'm going to go ahead and do that. But then that particular pastor, he'd be like, that's not what I meant. That's not what I said. I didn't mean for that to happen. There's a consequence and repercussions to all that we say and we do. So on that note, we've been here almost an hour. Talked about hatred. I hope you have questions. I hope that you learned something. But if you have questions, let me go back to that. Drop them down at the slot below. Like, subscribe, share. If you like it, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. Either way, we're going to learn from what it said. We don't know everything. We just try to do the best we can. So until Saturday, be blessed. Be careful. Be safe. Have a good one. I'll holler at my peeps later. Peace.